because I was raised so conservative, I was really struggling with how to write that story and not look weird to people. Mm-hmm. And the phone rang. My wife's a teacher. She answered the phone, and it was another teacher friend, and she said, Mary Lynn, is it true Steve's next book is on spiritual warfare? Yes. Good, I got to talk to him right now. Can I come over right now? You know, she's all frantic. And she said, yeah, come on over. She had been on a mission trip overseas with her church. But ever since she had come back, for the first time in her life, she was having terrible nightmares. She called them demonic nightmares. And I never heard of that, and I just asked her to describe it. And I later found a Bible verse that was almost word for word what she said to me that day. Job 4, verses 13 to 17 in the NLT says, it came to me in a disturbing vision at night when people are in deep sleep. Fear gripped me and my bones trembled. A spirit swept past my face. My hair stood on end. That's what she's describing. And so I said, well, Victoria, I don't really know what to tell you, but Bill was going to kill himself, and we did Bible verses on tent stakes, and everything changed. And she said, okay, I'm going to do that. So she just went over to Army Navy store, bought some stakes, and wrote verses on them with a magic marker. And she lived in an apartment, so she just stood them in the corners of her apartment and read the verses out loud and prayed for God to make that a safe area, no more bad dreams. And went to bed and slept all night, first time in 6 weeks. And she was so happy that the dreams stopped that she went to school the next day and told her best friend all about it. Until then, I was the only one she'd told. She was afraid people think she was crazy. And the best friend was the principal. Next thing I know, they're saying, would you come stake out our school, public school? I said, okay, can we do it at night so I don't get sued? And they said, that'd be fine. So we drove up there one night with a hammer, 4 stakes with verses on them, key to the front gate, and a flashlight. And I still won't tell you where it was. And we just simply, got out the front gate, jumped in one car together, and drove to the 4 corners of that property and just read the verses out loud and prayed and put the stake all the way in the ground. We prayed for every single person connected to that school. Teachers and their families, administration and their families, bus drivers, delivery people, anybody who had any connection to that school. And we asked God to put a wall of protection around that school. And that was the first night when we ended up finishing, I turned to those ladies and I said, I want you to know things are going to be different. There's going to be some mad demons that can't get in here anymore because God's not the great I used to could. He's the I am because he still does. And I told them things are going to be better. I go back on the road. I'm speaking on heaven from my first book at that point because I'm still writing the next one. And 9 months later, they called me. And I had forgotten about them. I said, well, how you doing? How's the school now? Great. They said, all the problems are gone. It's a whole different place. You wouldn't believe the difference. And I said, really? I'm supposed to have faith, but the whole school is better. Yes. And I said, well, wait a minute. What happened to the man that was working there that was causing so many of the problems? They said, oh, yeah, he died. Whoa, I said, he died. Was he old? No, he was in his 30s. Had a heart attack. Now, I'm gonna time out here. I'm not happy somebody died. But when kids are at risk, God seems to get serious. And if you're going to lead a child astray, better for a millstone be pulled around your neck and thrown in the ocean. So God gets serious, I think, when kids are involved. But after the funeral of that guy who died, his mother came to the campus and demanded to see the principal. And the principal came out and they started cussing and screaming, you killed my son. You blankety blank, this school killed my son. And we don't know why she thought that because we never told anyone we staked the school out.